So again, adjusting your seat, finding your place of comfort, sensing and feeling your sits bones in the chair and your feet on the floor, inviting the elbows to just hang underneath the shoulders, inviting the shoulder blades to sink into the back pockets, allowing the shoulders to soften and the neck to be nice and long. Even taking a moment to check in with the tone of the muscles of the face, just inviting them to soften, perhaps opening the jaw just a few millimeters to soften the jaw muscles and creating a little more room for the tongue to rest in the floor of the mouth. Softening the eyes. Having prepared the body for practice, we might take a moment to prepare the mind, reminding ourselves what we are going to be doing, what's our intention, to just pay attention fully to this moment's experience, whatever it might be. And in this practice, using the breath as the anchor for our attention. So taking a moment to begin to sense and feel the breath itself, flowing in and flowing out. No need to manipulate or control or manage the breath like we were doing in the previous practice. Just now, just having a felt sense of this inhale and a felt sense of this exhale, just as they are. One breath, one moment at a time. It's helpful when we attend to the breath like this to have one particular area in the body where the breath really sticks out for us to use as an anchor, if you'd like, for our attention. So notice if there's an area in the body where you can really be aware of the breath. Often it's right at the nostrils where we can feel the breath coming in and flowing out. For some it may be a little farther back in the nasal pharynx or in the throat or even in the lungs, feeling the lungs expanding and emptying. For some it may actually be the sound of the breath perhaps. But wherever the breath really sticks out for you, using that site as the anchor point so that whenever you notice that your attention has wandered away from this experience of breathing, you can actually come back to that particular site and experience the breath just as it is in that moment as you return. Whether you're in the inhale or the exhale or the pause, it doesn't matter, just being with it as best you can. Sensing the breath, feeling the breath, just as it is. Really getting familiar with this process of breathing as it unfolds moment by moment within you. It won't take long before we recognize that our attention falters. It doesn't stay on the breath for very long. It wanders away. But you may also notice that you recognize at some point that your attention has wandered off. Very important point, that point of recognition of distraction. Because in that moment of recognition of distraction, you're actually back paying attention, which is our overarching intention. So we would invite you, when you recognize that you've been distracted from this experience of breathing, to smile. Reward yourself for coming back to attention. Take a moment to actually acknowledge the distraction, perhaps even label it, give it a name, thinking, or remembering, or planning, or sound, whatever it might have been that took you off. Give it a name, get familiar with the distraction. And then, without any need to do anything about the distraction, we just let the distraction be. And with that smile of kindness for ourselves, return our attention back to the breath, to that anchor point, to whatever experience of breath is present as you return. And staying with the breath again as best you can, moment by moment, inhale by inhale, exhale by exhale. And as we collect and consolidate our attention around this experience of breathing, we can invite our attention and awareness to get even more curious about this experience of breath. Perhaps beginning to explore the nuances and the subtleties of each breath. What does it feel like at the very, very beginning of the inhale, when the lungs are empty and wanting to fill? What does it feel like moment by moment with the flow of the breath in? Is the breath flowing in smoothly, or is it short and jerky, jagged? Does it stop and start? Is the flow deep or shallow? Is it fast or slow? Is the temperature of the breath hot or cold? What does it feel like at the very end of the inhale when the lungs are full? And then similarly, exploring each exhale. From the very beginning of the exhale when the lungs are full and want to empty, to each moment of the outflow of breath, to the very end of the exhale when the lungs are empty. You might even begin to notice that at the end of the exhale, before the inhale, there may be a pause that varies in length, that you can actually rest your attention in that stillness at the end of the exhale. And similarly, at the end of the inhale, there may too be a pause, and awareness can rest there. Just breathing, just watching, just sensing each breath as best as you can, without judging anything, without striving for things to be this way or that way, or for the breath to be in a certain pattern, without any expectations of what you want or what might happen. And each time you're distracted, just smiling and coming back with a sense of kindness for yourself, as best you can, moment by moment. Just this inhale, just this exhale, just this pause. Bringing attention back over and over and over again. Whenever you notice it's wandered away. Inviting your awareness to begin to expand from the breath itself, to incorporate some of the feelings of the breath in the body, perhaps allowing your attention to come back into the belly and feeling the expressions of breathing in the belly. No need now to try and change the breath, just really connecting with that felt sense and awareness of the working of the diaphragm, the movements of the abdominal contents with breath. Perhaps even beginning to extend awareness into a felt sense of the body sitting, being breathed. With no need to do anything other than to have the experience of the body sitting and being breathed.